entitled "Mom Demanded My Birthday Cake," then screamed when I said no. So, apparently, I'm a monster for not giving a random child my birthday cake. Yeah, you heard that right. Imagine celebrating your own birthday only to be called selfish because you didn't hand over the very thing you were waiting for all year. Let me tell you what went down. The setup. This happened just a few weeks ago. For context, I'm in my late 20s, and I'd been planning a small birthday get-together with some close friends. Nothing fancy, just a nice dinner at home, a few drinks, some board games, and of course, my dream cake. I'd been saving up for this specific cake for months. It wasn't just any cake. It was from this local bakery that's super popular, the kind where you have to pre-order weeks in advance. It had layers of chocolate mousse, caramel drizzle, and this shiny ganache on top. Basically the kind of cake you don't share unless you really want to. Now, I live in an apartment complex, and I have a few neighbors I chat with, but for the most part, I keep to myself. One of those neighbors happens to be Karen. Yes, we'll call her Karen. She has a little boy, maybe 7 or 8 years old. I don't have issues with kids, but let's just say Karen has a reputation around here for being a little demanding. So the night of the party rolls around. Everything's going great, music's playing, food's on the table, and everyone's having fun. Then the doorbell rings. I wasn't expecting anyone else, but I figured maybe a late guest. When I opened the door, there was Karen and her son, standing there smiling like they were invited. Spoiler, they weren't. I'll admit I was a little stunned. She waltzed right in like she owned the place and said something like, "Oh, we heard you were having a party. Thought we'd come by so my son could have some fun. He loves cake." Now, I don't know about you, but crashing someone's birthday party without an invite, that's already weird, but I didn't want to cause a scene, so I just said, sure, we're just hanging out. At first, it was fine. Her kid played with some of the board games. Karen made herself comfortable, poured a drink, and acted like she belonged there. But then, she saw the cake. I had it sitting on the counter, still in the box, ready for the moment when we'd all sing happy birthday. And of course, that's when things went south. Karen's eyes lit up, and she loudly announced, "Oh, wow, that cake looks amazing. My son would love a slice." I kinda laughed it off and said, "Yeah, we'll be cutting it after dinner." But she wasn't satisfied. She leaned in and said, "Well, he's a kid. He shouldn't have to wait. Can you just give him a piece now?" I told her no, politely. I explained that it was for the birthday celebration, and everyone would get a slice at the same time. And that's when she snapped. Karen crossed her arms and said, "Wow, really? You're an adult. It's just cake. Kids should get priority. Don't be selfish." I was floored. Selfish? For not handing over my cake on my birthday? She didn't stop there. She raised her voice, making sure everyone at the party could hear. "This is ridiculous. He's just a little boy. He deserves it more than you. What kind of person withholds cake from a child?" At this point, my friends were staring in disbelief. A couple of them actually laughed because they thought she was joking. But oh no, Karen was dead serious. She even tried to walk into the kitchen and grab the knife herself. That's when I physically stepped between her and the counter and told her she needed to stop. That's when the screaming started. She called me a selfish brat, said I didn't understand because I wasn't a parent, and even accused me of trying to starve her child of happiness. Her son, by the way, didn't even seem that interested. He was too busy playing with the board games. My friends finally spoke up. One of them said, "Karen, this isn't your party. You weren't even invited. Sit down or leave." But Karen wasn't having it. She grabbed her kid's hand, dramatically shouted, "Come on, sweetie. We don't need to be around selfish people," and stormed out. The door slammed. The whole apartment went quiet, and I just stood there holding the knife like, what just happened? We eventually shook it off, sang happy birthday, and cut the cake. And let me tell you, it was worth every bite. But of course, drama doesn't just end there. The next day, I bumped into one of my neighbors, and apparently Karen had already spread the story around the building. She told people I was a child-hating birthday Grinch who refused to share with her poor son. Some neighbors avoided me. Others rolled their eyes and said, "That's just Karen being Karen." But I'll admit, it got under my skin. I started wondering, was I really that selfish? I mean, it was my cake, my birthday, my party, but still, a little part of me questioned it. So I did what most people do. I posted it on Reddit. Update, the post blew up way more than I expected. Thousands of people commented, and let me tell you, about 99% of them sided with me. One person said, "If a kid deserves cake more, then she should have bought him one." Simple. Another person shared a similar story where an entitled mom tried to cut into a wedding cake before the bride and groom had even taken a bite. Some even gave me advice like setting boundaries with Karen and maybe telling management about her behavior since she wasn't even invited. The funniest part? A few days later, I saw Karen in the hallway. She didn't say a word, but the glare she gave me? If looks could kill, I'd be 6 feet under right now. Her son just waved at me like nothing happened. Kids are innocent. It's the parents who cause the drama. So yeah, that's how I ended up being the villain in Karen's version of events. All because I didn't share my birthday cake. What do you think? Was I in the wrong for not giving in? Or was Karen completely out of line? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts.